Yeah, I think he's gone. Yeah, sorry about that. I was chasing the way away. This Pope. He's on about something. The new church. Don't know what it's about. But anyway, this is going to be one of a series of videos for a game called Dead Man's Hand. A very, very nice game.
It is actually
a good skirmish game. It's set in the Old West. Yeah, you don't have to sound like Dr. Lovelace from Wild Wild West, but I suppose it helps. I suppose this is just basically a bit of a review and overview about the basic game as the thing slowly goes over.
Yeah. We'll edit that.
I shall try my best. I shall try my best.
Edit it. There you go.
I'll try my best.
Smooth, look at that. If you keep talking, they won't notice a thing.
Dead Man's Hand, what you'll need for it, like most games, is dice and tape measures, D20s, D12s, and maybe D6s, maybe D6s. A few counters for wounds and such like might be helpful. Playing cards will help, although if you get the rulebook you will get these little ones which give the different suits and whatnot for different abilities. So going through the rulebook, the summary at the front of the page, there's a summary at the front. There is also a summary at the back doing the same thing for action, shooting, weapons and whatnot. Gives you a little bit of a fluff page about different characters that will be coming through and helping you, which it isn't bad. Initiative first, which you use the cards to show the initiative, but if you play it like Mercs, where you roll say D10s, D12s or whatnot to show which model goes first, then it works pretty well.
Yeah, I think we did that last time we played, didn't we? We tried the cards, found it was okay, but thought we'll just roll the dice. It's quicker.
Now, each model can take 3 actions where you can move, aim, shoot, reload and recover, which if you've got 3 actions, that'll give you a fair bit of choice for each model, which in most games you're probably going to have most, say 10. Not really going to need more than that unless you're playing special themed games. Shooting with penalties, bonuses and whatnot, weapon types, cover, shooting at a target and making them fall down, ducking back into cover, nerve tests, you know, courage and whatnot, hand to hand, which can be quite brutal.
Yes, as I recall, at the climax of our last game, Billy the Kid punched a nun in the face.
This will make more sense. Yeah, nuns in the Wild West. It'll make sense, but bear with us. Then it's got the common cards that pretty much everyone gets. The gang specific cards for the different factions, so each of the different suits for the kings, queens, jokers and not jokers, jacks, something starting with A. And then they've got the jokers, which black one and red one, they do something different. And then they've got the 4 gangs, which are the lawmen, which I'm probably going to get at some point, the outlaws, the cowboys, which technically I am using with my nuns, and the desperados, which is intriguing.
Yes.
And then it's got different scenes which is played out in the acts, which are played out in 3 scenes. Special scenarios which not had a go yet, but they look quite interesting. Each of the gangs have pretty much the same models. It's just the special rules and a few of the unit types are different. Say for the cowboys, you've got the man with no name, which is a bit different.
Clint.
Exactly. Scenario show you the story, the setup, the direction you want to set them up in, how it wants to start and whatnot. There a lot in here.
Yes, if you notice the army list, if you like, for the gangs, the stats for them are pretty much identical. You know, you have bosses, you have a 0 to 1, like an elite guy that you can pick. I mean, for the lawmen it's a marshal, for the outlaws it's a gunslinger, for the cowboys it's the man with no name. You know, it's
killer for the desperados.
He's your elite guy. Then you have, like, you know, regular gangs, gang members that you can pick to fill out the rest of your squad.
And then you've got the cheap people, which are not that good, just basically there if you haven't got enough points to fill.
What makes them different from each other is the special rules that add on. You know, like cowboys can have mainly you have to have half of your squad with a pistol. Cowboys don't have to, because you're a cowboy.
In the squad starter set, the gang box, you get a card with their rules on. I won't bring a close up of that because you can stop that and then photocopy it on, which we don't want that, considering they're not really that big a company, really, I don't think. Although I think they are part of someone else, I'm not sure. Then they've got markers at the back that you can print off and use, which ain't bad. And then they've got bits at the back telling you who did what, where and why. And pretty concise. You might have to look once or twice in a few different bits, but pretty easy to go for.
It might seem confusing at first, all the multipliers and, you know, your things that alter the dice score you need to roll to hit or whatever. Like once you've done it once or twice, it's almost second nature. It's really easy.
If you just want to show some of your people up to the camera, I mean, you don't have to get the proper models if you don't want. You could just get the rule book.
There are lots and lots of companies that do cowboy Wild West figures. I mean, this is the leader of my outlaw people. You might recognise him from a certain western film.
I'm just trying. I'm trying my best.
You might recognise him from the film. He leads me outlaws.
They are very nice. Yeah, I use cowboys, which are actually nuns if you just want to show them a few more of your ones.
A few more of mine, right? This would be my elite guy. He is my cowboy's gunslinger. There. And this fella, he has a repeating rifle with his sandy coloured coat on there.
I've got the cowboys faction. We kept going on about nuns, and this is why. I'll just show you a basic person. Yes, it's a nun with a rifle.
No, it is a nun with a gun. But is she on the run? We don't know.
And this is the second in command, if you like, with a revolver. And my leader, which is a priest, of course with a pistol and a Bible. And well, that's pretty much it for the main book. It's pretty easy. You can get it for 20-25 quid, I think. It's about that price, and you get all the cards for all the factions. Well, all the main cards. You won't get the faction cards unless you use the rule book or you buy the sets.
Well worth a go if you're fed up with multiples of thousands of models and you fancy a skirmish.
Now, just going on a little bit, there is also an expansion, Legends of Dead Man's Hand. I've actually got one of the factions for these, which I'll go on to in a minute. They also come with new cards for the factions, jokers, kings, queens and whatnot, if you want to play those factions. Fluff from the start and whatnot, setting up gangs, which adds a little bit of an RPG element where everyone can have different stats and you can increase them and whatnot. And all of the gangs have increased stats of different varieties. Cowboy schemes, Desperado schemes, 7th Cavalry schemes, and then it's got a campaign setting which not too bad. They've also got death and injury table, which would be a bit different. They've also got experience for campaigns, if you want to do that. Campaign events. They've also got 4 new factions. The Banditos, which always reminds me of that Dara O'Brien thing where the Banditos are mutating. These are basically the Mexicans, essentially. And they can have a plethora of pistols, which is kind of a new weapon. In the main rulebook, it didn't say what dual pistols did, but in here it just basically means you can't run out of ammo. I gotta say, the model they put up for the
well, that is a bit dire.
It's mainly in the face. I'll just.
Does look like it's been hit in the face with an axe.
It looks like I painted the eyes, to be honest. They've also got Indians, which come with hand weapons, which add for close combat, and they've also got pistols and whatnot, and their own abilities. I've got the Pinkertons, which are the special agents, if you will. I'll just show you one of the people.
They look nice. I do like those.
If you just want to have a look at some of them.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the easiest to paint, mainly because it's mainly just a coat. I think that one's got a shotgun and that one's got a repeater, I think. Yeah. Which, if your agent has got a rifle or a shotgun, then you are really in trouble. I think the Pinkertons, you're gonna have to comment on what the Pinkertons did, because I have no idea how the Pinkertons worked back in the Old West.
Google!
And then they've got the 7th Cavalry, which have carbines, which I've no idea what carbines do at the minute. It doesn't actually say. I would imagine they're repeaters. At the end of the last scene of any act, all cavalry can be on horses, which I think just have movement bonuses. And then there's things such as one troop can have a bugle, one can have a banner, something like. Then they've also got new scenes with acts. Sorry, new acts with scenes. What else have they got? They've also got 2 special characters, which is Eli Fergus. Not sure what he's based on, but he's not that bad. And there's also John Bridges, which is based on Jeff Bridges. If you've seen the remake of True Grit, then it will make all the more sense to you. And then they've also got new special rules such as wagons, using 2 pistols, using citizen gangs, which is essentially lawmen with citizens involved. And that's pretty much it, really. Oh, the back cover, they've also got who did what and where. And they've also got a roster list thing where you can print it off, copy it, and then use it for your own. Again, it's about 20 quid and you get new cards and whatnot. It's a bit thicker than the last one actually. How big is this? About 50 pages. This is about 4 pages. The main rule book's about 4 pages less. They're both really nicely done. If you do want to use the expansion book, you will need the basic rule book, otherwise you won't know what's what and what's where. So that's pretty much it for that. Do quite a few more videos of this with games and whatnot, going on for different factions, how they work and such like. And that's it for now. Goodbye.